I'm on a quest to read every Star Wars novel ever written, because Battlestar Galactica is just a bit too nerdy for me. Oi, that too nerdy tagline doesn't hit quite as hard when I have to take the helmet off, huh? But it was only fitting, since today I'll be discussing X-Wing, The Krytos Trap by Michael Stackpole. The third book in the X-Wing series. Even the concept of this book is going to have major spoilers for the previous one, so be warned. It's a bright day in the galaxy, because Corran Horn is dead. Okay, no, he's not really dead, but he's been captured by the devious Yasan Isard and is believed dead by all of his friends in Rogue Squadron. Even worse, much cooler pilot Tycho Selchu has been framed for the murder and is believed to have betrayed the New Republic for Isard. And that's a good place to start. A lot of this book focuses on the trial of Tycho Selchu by the New Republic, and that was surprisingly excellent. One of the other rogues, Noara Ven, was previously established as a lawyer all the way back in the first book, and while that's come up here and there, this is obviously the moment when that really shines, and he quickly shot up to be one of my favorites in the crew. Especially because I like Tycho, and despite Corran's certainty that he was guilty, Wedge said he was innocent, and that was enough for me to be fully on Tycho's side. Oh, right, I should talk about Corran, huh? Sadly, he's not dead, and is instead being held captive in Ysard's urban legend of a prison, the Lusankya. Now, I know I'm going extra hard on Corran in this review, but that's actually because this is by far my favorite appearance of his so far. Turns out if you get him far away from any women, he becomes a lot more tolerable. Not to mention that the fraught situation Corran finds himself in is very compelling on its own. Trapped in an Imperial prison, Corran has to resist the Lusankya's infamous mind-controlling powers, and he has to plot his escape while also considering whether or not he's going to leave behind all the other prisoners on Lusankya. It's a solid conflict, and I have to give credit to this book that I didn't actively dislike Corran half as much as the other two. My boy's in the green. Honestly, all the characters in this one really excel. Aayla Wasiri takes on a much larger role than she had in the previous book, and we even meet her husband Derek, who's a very charming character. The two of them find themselves on opposite ends of the Tycho Selchu case, where Aayla, as the lead prosecutor, is of course investigating his guilt. But Derek is a very eccentric man, and from the first second he meets Tycho, is entirely certain of his innocence. It's a great dynamic that produces some nicely dramatic results, and I really enjoyed their role in the story. This is also by far the best appearance of Kirtan Lure in the series, as he starts to find himself between a rock and an Imperial hardplace. I've talked a lot about how my favorite Imperial characters are those who lean more on the weaselly and cowardly, out for themselves no matter what game, and Kirtan starts to find himself a little bit more in that category in this one. But most notable about this book is Yasan Isard's newest foul concoction, the titular Krytos virus, which is ravaging Coruscant. And I have to say, Stackpole did not hold back on that virus. The effects it describes on its victims are horrific, and it goes a long way to raising the stakes of the story. I'm all the more eager to see Isard destroyed now that she's unleashed this sort of menace on the galaxy. But, well, I guess there's at least one more book, so we're not gonna get so lucky. Nonetheless, I'd say that this is my favorite out of the 4 Rogue Squadron books in this main storyline, and well worth reading the other 2 to get to. 7 out of 10.